Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Process of Elimination running on Nintendo Switch. This is the demo. We actually are going to play the full game, but for whatever reason, the full game is not unlocking for me. So, in the meantime, we'll play the demo, and hopefully we can just pick up where we left off if we finish the demo. Alright, let's take a look here. Touch speed, fast. We never even use. Skip unread text. We'll leave that off for now. Play voices to the end. We'll leave that on. We'll leave this on level's default for now. Alright. I'm actually looking forward to this. It's a rainy day in June, with clouds covering the entire nation. The live broadcast of a new gaming release is suddenly disrupted. The grad on the left, the shut-in on the right. Who do we despise more? Well, between foxes and bunnies, I love them both. But let's say the shut-in. Oh, jeez. Okay. Didn't think it would be graphic. That's a surprise.
一方で教師にはおべっかを使い大いに敷かれ、エリート街道を邁進。過去の罪も償わぬまま、父のコネも利用して大手の銀行への就職を成功させたんだ。君たちの第一印象が生存へと導いたのはこういう人物なんだよ。今一度質問だ。君たちは彼が好きかい？過半数以上の視聴者が彼を好きだというのなら解放しようじゃないか。
I like him, I hate him. Let's say we like him.
好きだと言ってくれた人は500人にも満たなかったね。悲しいよ。なんて残酷な悲劇だろう。本当に悲しくて胸が引き裂かれそうだ。しかし
The quartering duke snaps his fingers.
残念だけどそろそろ終わる時間だ。これは我が輩だ。我が輩は漫然とエンタメを消費する奴らの敵で、エンタメとして消費される君たちの味方だ。さあここからは君たちも楽しんでくれ。
The video cuts off at 4 minutes and 52 seconds. As a hacked broadcast, those who ran their website were powerless to stop it. The video, just shy of 5 minutes, is shared across the net, mostly among the youth. But things don't end with that. Not just the broadcasted victims, but others killed in the same manner are soon discovered. The common thread, at least 2 victims are always found at once, with their lock screen set to the symbol of the quartering duke. The police pour all of their resources into investigating the case, but turn up nothing. Pair by pair, more and more bodies surface, until half a year later, over 100 have been killed since that first broadcast. The sheer number of victims and brutality of the murders fling society into chaos. I grip my phone tight as I read articles about the murders, speaking aloud despite myself. I've seen the effects of this duke all around me. People are terrified to go outside, and stores have even shortened their hours. What's worse, he's gained some traction among young copycats taken by his charisma. With the police overwhelmed, small private agencies like mine are in huge demand. Apparently, even the FBI is getting involved. Past events had already stoked the need for this line of work, but the Duke has only made things worse. The media jeers at the detective craze. What? You need to speak up, sir. As I lay in wait for my mark, I recall my mentor's words and sigh to myself. I work for the Gungoji Detective Agency. It's probably one of the pioneer agencies around, though nowadays we're buzzing with activity. I'm a student working part-time, but they plan to recruit me once I've graduated. The situation must be getting pretty serious nationwide. Okay. Oh, holy crap, you are very, very quiet. Get up there, sir. I can barely hear you. Let's see, an ideal society has no use for detectives, huh? The thought alone makes me a bit miserable. Is this the reality faced by all aspiring detectives? Okay, that's enough of that. My worries run wild when I'm on my own. It's a bad habit, but I've got to focus on work. There he is. My mark is on the move. After a moment's pause, the man clad in a trench coat starts off down the road again. I make sure I'm out of earshot before calling in my report, just as my mentor had instructed.
もしもし、こちらWato。対象が動き出しました。 群青寺先生の推理通り例の路地を進んでいきます。罠を警戒しながら追跡を続けます。
Quieting my steps, I follow the man cautiously. He's our top suspect in the serial pet killer case, and according to Mr. Gungoji, he may be armed. Whatever I do, I absolutely cannot allow my presence to be detected.
私に何か用か。
Suddenly, the man is right in front of me, and I reflexively take a step back. Did he notice me following him, despite the cover of darkness and my voice being out of earshot?
用なんて何もありませんよ。塾に遅刻しそうなので失礼しますね。
As I try to move past him, the man blocks my path.
私と足並みを揃えて立ち止まっていたら遅刻もするだろう。表情に出過ぎだな。減点1。別にそれほど驚くことじゃない。こんな何もない場所で立ち止まるのは誰かを追跡しているものか、後ろの足音の正体を探るためにわざと足を止めるものだけだろう。
So, the very act of pausing here was a trap. Ugh, how can I make such a rookie mistake? It didn't even register with me. I have no one to blame but myself.
記憶にない顔だが何者だ。足音を消しきれない半端な追跡からしてまさか警察や探偵ではないだろうが。
探偵ではないだろう。
Blood rushes to my face. I poured everything into becoming a detective. His words sting worse than a slap to the face. There's no way I can just let it slide.
バカにするな。僕は群青寺探偵事務所の助手、北条ワトだ。
Okay, man, that's a little loud. I mean, I do like hearing the voice, but that is pretty loud.
あんたがこの近辺を調べ回っていることもナイフを所持していることも確認済みだよ。あんたには動物虐待の容疑もかかっている。おとなしく警察まで同行してもらおうか。
I'd hoped the edge in my voice would intimidate him, but the man only lets out an exasperated sigh.
本当に名乗るなど減点3だな。ドラマの世界ではないんだぞ。現実の探偵は身の上を一くするものだ。さてはお前さん探偵ドラマ好きだな。
As much as I hate it, he's read me like a completely open book. The moment a detective reveals himself always seems so cool on television. But he's right, sharing your identity in this line of work is far too dangerous, something to keep in mind next time.
それでその探偵助手君がたった一人でこの私を連行できるつもりか。凶器を手にしているだろう大人の男を相手に。
The man slides his hand into his pocket and readies his stance. He's clearly holding a weapon. This isn't the first time I've gone up against someone armed with a knife, but I still feel my hair standing on end. My heart slams frantically against my ribcage as I freeze up, willing my trembling legs to remain steady.
僕だって自分が未熟なことは分かってるさ。だからもう助けは呼んである。あとは先生が来るまで時間を稼ぐだけだ。
稼げると思うのか。お前のような探偵気取りの小僧に。
稼ぐさ。稼がなきゃダメなんだよ。あんたが傷つけたペットのうちの一人は僕のクラスメートの家族だった。彼女はあんたがうろつき回る影響で今も怯え続けてる。僕には探偵としてあんたを止める義務があるんだ。彼女の日常を守るために引くわけにはいかない。
I tear off my jacket and wrap it around my left wrist to form a makeshift glove, a guard against his knife. In my dominant hand, I grip a pair of handcuffs like brass knuckles. Armed as best as I can, I face off with the man. man just watches me, showing no signs of movement. Good. He's probably never seen anyone use handcuffs for self-defense before. It's only natural he'd be wary.
群青寺先生から学んだこの護身術の長所は初見ではまず見切れないことだ。僕の目的は少しでも長く時間を稼ぐこと。この硬直状態のまま時間を稼ぐ、それがベスト。
戦流逮捕術か。珍しい格闘術を身につけているな、坊主。
I'm struck speechless. What are the odds he'd know this tactic? I fumble for an answer, but my mind goes blank.
敵前で固まるな。減点5。いくら珍しい格闘術といえど、この世界に長らく身を置く者には通じないと思った方がいい。だがまあ、並の犯罪者相手なら通用したことは事実。自分の無力さを理解した上で最善の対策を講じたことは認めよう。
Okay, still loud.
何が八つ咲き講だ。エンターテイナーだ。あんなの何が八つ咲き講だ。エンターテイナーだ。あんなのただの殺人症じゃないか。
その探偵としての光る資質。10点をやるぞ、少年。リーダーがお前さんを押すのもうなずけるな。
The man suddenly backs down and speaks with a smile. Wait, what? Is this another trap? Glancing my way, he continues.
勘違いさせてすまないな。私は動物虐待の犯人ではない。本当の犯人は被害者の隣の家の息子で、すでに私の手で警察へ突き出したよ。浪人のストレスから逃れるように八つ咲き港に浸水して犯行に及んだらしい。人間を八つ咲きにする勇気がないからと動物に手をかけるとは呆れたものだ。
あなたは一体。
Upon hearing my question, the man pulls out what looks to be a tablet out of his pocket. The screen shows a familiar symbol and the words Detective Alliance.
探偵同盟。
I can't help but yell out the name. The Detective Alliance, the very organization I revere more than anything else.
そう。私は国内で唯一の国家公認の探偵組織、探偵同盟の一員だ。お前さんも探偵を志す身なら聞き覚えがあるだろう。
もちろん。実績のある100人の探偵で構成され、捜査依頼を受けた事件の内容に応じて最も適切な探偵を派遣する謎の組織。その事件解決率は 100%。 メンバーは自らの特徴に準じた探偵ネームを名乗って素性を隠していて。
謎の組織のことにやたらと詳しいじゃないか、探偵オタク。
As I calm down, my face begins to burn bright red. I had to let my excitement carry me away on a totally nerdy rant. Still, the Detective Alliance has been the dream I've aspired to ever since I learned about it from Mr. Kangoji.
あなたが持っているそれって探偵デバイス。探偵同盟の証ですよね。あなたも探偵なんですか？
よく知っているな。その通りだよ。私は老子探偵。探偵同盟のフル株で、今はスカウトや補助を主に担当している。まあ推理力はまだまだ若い探偵には負けんがな。今回の動物殺傷事件などは少々骨がなさすぎたくらいだよ。
As prideful as he sounds, I can tell by his expression that he's speaking purely from well-earned experience. He has an air about him that's unlike anyone I've ever met, the kind that could only come from a member of the Detective Alliance. As secretive as it is, the Detective Alliance has grown more famous by the days thanks to the recent detective craze. Even now, the news is full of stories about the cases cracked by Detective Alliance members. Then there's all the terrorist plots in the wake of the Quartering Duke incidents that they've thwarted with almost zero leads. The whole reason I joined the detective agency was to carve a path to earning a spot alongside those detectives one day. Looked up to by detectives far and wide, the Detective Alliance is the absolute paragon for those pursuing justice.
無礼な発言ばかりして本当にすみません、老子探偵さん。僕、勝手な勘違いばかりして犯人呼ばわりまでしてしまって。
よしてくれ。誤解を招いたのはこちらだ。それからさん付けも結構だぞ。我らの業界では探偵は継承に等しいのでな。
The senior detective amicably shrugs off my apology. His unshakable calm only makes me warier of where this is going. Then, as if noticing how on edge I look, he continues to speak.
単刀直入に目的を言うと、私はお前をスカウトへ来たんだ。お前には我々の本拠地で開催予定の八つ崎港事件への対策会議に出席してもらいたい。
はい。
I respond lamely, unable to fully grasp what he's saying.
もう一度言うぞ。探偵同盟の一員として八つ崎港事件の捜査に協力してほしいと言っているんだ。
The sound I make is so shrill and alien I scare even myself. I pinch my cheek to make sure this isn't just some dream. Ow! Nope, not a dream. Maybe this is Mr. Ngoji's idea of a prank. No sign of him anywhere, so probably not. Which means...
冗談じゃないんですか。
全て真実だ。悪化する一方の八つ崎港事件を止めるよう国から直々にお達しを受けたんだよ。同盟でもえりすぐりの探偵たちが一堂に会し、本部で八つ崎港の正体を推理することとなる。今世紀最悪の殺人鬼といえど一巻の終わりだろう。同盟でもえりすぐりの探偵たちが一堂に会し、本部で八つ崎港の正体を推理することとなる。今世紀最悪の殺人鬼といえど一巻の終わりだろう。
My mind goes blank again, but if this is real, then my dream is coming true far sooner than I ever imagined. There was so much I could learn, so many accomplished detectives I could meet. Ideal detectives, like the one I aspire to be, the kind who could prevent, or who could have prevented the tragedy that unfolded before my eyes 10 years ago.
聞きたいことは山積みだろうが、まずはお前さん自身の意思を聞きたい。お前さんは探偵として八つ崎港対策会議に出席するか、イエスかノーで答えてくれ。
Watashi, or I. How can I hesitate? I state my intentions, loud and clear. Yes or yes. The moment I try to answer, senior detective's arms hook around my neck and begin to squeeze like a vice. It's so tight I can't breathe. I flail and kick frantically, but all I hit is the air and the ground below my feet. I feel a prick as a slender needle pierces the skin of my neck. What feels like liquid ice begins to pump through my veins. My skin turns pale, my limbs go numb, and my strength fades. My vision blurs as my legs start to give out. I sag against the man restraining me. And then, as if the stars have been swept from the night sky, everything goes black.
尋ねておいて悪いが、拒否権はない。お前さんには参加する義務があるんだよ。この探偵撲滅プロジェクトにな。
Well, a very intriguing opening. Very well done. There's been a fair amount of hype on this game. At least if you've been in the visual novel circles. So yeah, I'm glad it's turning out to be as good as I hoped it would be. Haven't felt this way in a long time. My consciousness drags sluggishly as if I'm trapped in thick mud, helplessly sinking deeper and deeper. As much as I try to shut it out, that traumatic nightmare pulls me in once again. In my dream, I'm running down a dark, frigid corridor, holding on tight to the hand of a girl my age.
私もう走れない。あなただけでも逃げて。
何を言ってるの、サイカちゃん。二人で逃げるって約束したでしょ。
でももう足が。
The girl is beautiful, with bewitching black hair, pure white skin, and light purple eyes reminiscent of hydrangeas? I remember nothing else about her, but I'm sure that at the time she was very precious to me. And then, right before my eyes, a blade swings down and slashes her, covering her in a burst of red.
サイカちゃん。
I clutch onto her before she can collapse and face the criminal that did this to her. Okay. The massive, unmistakably inhuman silhouette emits a strange mechanical whir. Its murderous intent is nearly enough to pierce through flesh as it focuses on me. I'm prepared to die as no more than a child. But at that moment, the girl in my arms strains to get the words out as her voice begins to fail. I might escape if I leave her now and run. But maybe I can still save her. There's no way I can just abandon her. 'That's all I can remember. My memory cuts out completely, as if the next page has been torn out. However, since I'm alive, it's obvious what came after. I traded Saika's life to save my own. This was the mass kidnapping and confinement incident I was in a decade ago, the reason I became a detective. A shadowy organization took 16 children and locked them in an underground prison for a month, never to be caught. Am I supposed to just live with that sacrifice that came out of that? Like Saika? I was too incompetent to save even one girl, but I refused to leave it there. My heart and soul demanded I see it through. I will become a great detective, a hero, and one day I'll reveal the truth behind what happened 10 years ago. I finally come to. My eyelids are so heavy, just opening them is an undertaking. That was one long dream. It was one I've had countless times before, of that fateful day I swore I'd become a detective. That incident remains unsolved to this day, what really happened all those years ago. As a survivor, the vague testimony I provided didn't help much. The case has gone cold for 10 years now. I've got to find the truth, to track down the villain who killed Saika, the girl I owe my life to. That's why I entered this line of work. But that aside, my whole body is aching right now. My mattress feels like a rock and smells like rust. I managed to pry my eyes open, but everything's pitch black. What's more, I can't even move. My limbs are restrained like I've been wrapped in some kind of sleeping bag. Don't tell me I'm trapped here.
なんだよ、この状況。
Mustering all my strength, I tried to worm my way out. Suddenly, my vision is flooded by a bright light. Whatever restrained me slackens, and my own momentum forces me upright. The sight I'm met with is...
森？それにこの音って波の音？
Lush woodland lies before my eyes. Beneath me is an old, rusty locker. Guess that's what I've been stuffed into just a second ago.
全身が痛い。どれだけ長く閉じ込められていたんだよ。
Who would do this to me? And why? When did I even get here? What the heck is going on? My head swirls in confusion as I try to recall what happened last.
僕は養子探偵とかいう人に会ってそれから
The haziness clears as I begin to remember. I was suddenly attacked by a senior detective and eventually lost consciousness. He claimed to be part of the Detective Alliance, but maybe that was just a bluff.
待てよあの人が嘘をついていたなら例のペット殺しの犯人は野放しってことか早く元の場所に戻らないと
I reached to grab my smartphone, but after a frantic search, I realized that my front pockets had been emptied. As I continue searching my person, I notice an unfamiliar weight in my back pocket. That's weird. I don't normally keep stuff back there. Suspicious, I carefully plucked the foreign object from my pocket. It's a tablet device. Looks like an oversized smartphone, more or less. The moment I see it, though, a chill runs down my spine.
これってまさか
I lift it up, touching the buttons out of habit then. A notification appears. Authentication successful.
おはよう、北条ワト君。探偵デバイスを起動させたようだな。薬の効果とはいえ、まさか数日も眠り続けるとは減点1だぞ。
As the tablet comes to life, a familiar voice emanates from its speaker.
お前さんをこの場に連れてきた張本人、老子探偵だ。3日前にもあったな。もっとも、お前さんは眠り続けていたから、つい先ほどの出来事に思うだろうがな。
僕は3日も眠ってたのか
So, senior detective is the one reaching out to me. I knew I recognized his voice from before. Still, his tone is pretty nonchalant for a kidnapper. I can't help but feel irritated.
きっと私に騙されたと思っているだろうが、お前さんが探偵同盟の一員となったことは真実だよ。嘘だと思うのなら、その探偵同盟の一員である証、探偵デバイスで登録情報を調べてみるといい。探偵同盟の正式なメンバーとして、お前さんの情報が登録されているはずだ。
I open the tablet and look through the roster he mentioned. There, I find my profile, beginning with my full legal name.
探偵序列100位北条ワト確かに僕の名前だそれに群青寺先生しか知らないはずの僕の特技や経歴まで登録されている
Ouch, my special skill is housework? I'm no great detective, sure, but that's a low blow. I wonder what else is on here.
他の探偵たちの序列と探偵ネームも載っているそれに直近の凶悪事件の情報や捜査状況まで
From the latest incidents all the way back to before I was born, it's a robust selection of key documents about cases infamous to the public. Far too much for one person to read, frankly. Even at a glance, most of the content seems to be highly technical in nature. This is way too much effort for a prank, meaning the DA really did recruit me. Can I trust what senior detective says?
僕は本当に探偵同盟の一員になったんですね信じていいんですか老子探偵さん
なお、今流れているのは録音音声だ。緊急事態が起こったので、お前さんを森の中へ隠し、私は離れることとする。
Ah, so that's how it is. I assumed this was a phone call, but I guess that's not the case. The device's settings must have been configured to play this voice message as soon as it finished authenticating.
準備ができ次第、デバイスのマップ機能を使って森を抜け、山の頂上の洋館へと向かうんだ。洋館で待っていれば、彼らと合流できるはず。私も必ず後で向かうから待っていてほしい。それから、途中で見かける建物には絶対に入るな。入れば減点などでは済まない。自分の身を守るためだと思って私の指示に従ってくれ。
Senior detective speaks without pause. The moment he's finished, the sound cuts out abruptly. I stand there in a daze, holding the tablet, my new D-pad in one hand. I lift my head and peer through the tree line, making out the shape of a mountain with an imposing manor resting on its summit. Is that the building Senior Detective was referring to? While I don't fully trust him, my options are limited. Pressed for choice, I open the map application on my tablet. Various graphics appear on the screen, displaying the surrounding area. All that blue surrounding everything must be the ocean, which means I've been taken to a remote island.
モルグというのはこの島の名前か？聞いたこともないけど、海外まで連れてこられたとかじゃないよな。
Either way, getting all gloomy won't solve things. I use my fingers to zoom in on the map, hoping to find more info to go off of. The screen then displays my current location and a few details about the vicinity. Just as Senior Detective said, there seems to be some sort of manor atop the peak, plus another structure near the tree line. Without any other clues to guide me, I decided to follow Senior Detective's instructions for now.
探偵ネームって自分でデバイスに登録するのか？どうしよう。僕には特技なんてないし、かといって適当に決めたら後悔必至だ。
The tablet hums quietly as I trek on. Before long, I see a parting in the trees. A massive heliport stretches before me. To its right sits a relatively small 3-story building. Though it blocks my line of sight, I assume that the manor is just ahead up at the top of the hill. This structure here must be the one Senior Detective warned me against entering. It's not like I really trust the guy, so I'm admittedly a bit curious to sneak a peek inside. But as soon as the thought crosses my mind, a sudden sense of unease washes over me. On my tablet's map, I see numerous circular icons displayed within the building's walls. And not just a handful either. Dozens of icons crowd around like ants swarming over food. Judging by my own marker on the map, I think these icons are all people? But if that's the case, what does this mean? My apprehension refuses to die down. I get the sense that going in there would only end in regret, just as Senior Detective had warned. I need to decide my next step carefully. I will. Oh, I guess we need to experience game overs too, right? So I'm not sure if this is one of these kind of visual novels that you have to experience a certain number of game overs. Or if you can possibly theoretically make a perfect choice, right? Most visual novels don't do that, obviously. Ignore it and head to the manor. Enter the building. I'll ignore it. I decided to do what Senior Detective suggested and make my way towards the manor at the peak of the mountain. My mentor always chided me for being so rash. Maybe I wouldn't have been abducted if I had just waited for him like I was supposed to. What's more, I get this deep feeling of dread whenever I look at that building to the right of the heliport. I should follow Senior Detective's advice, especially considering that he must have a way better grasp of the situation than me.
本当に何なんだよ、この島は。
I make my way up the mountain, quietly grumbling to myself, when suddenly a chill runs down my spine. I quickly turn to look behind me, but the only thing in sight is that building. I get the strange feeling that going there would have had irrevocable consequences for me. My uneasiness lingers, but I turn my back and keep going in spite of it. I continue up the twisting mountain path for about 15 minutes, until at last I arrive at the manor door. It was a gentle incline, but I'm still spent. I wearily take a seat, resting my back against the outside of the manor. It's the exact kind of setting you'd expect in any mystery novel. The manor's exterior speaks to its age and smells faintly of lumber. During my approach, I could only gasp at the structure's imposing beauty. Upon closer inspection, I notice its windows are constructed from an unnaturally thick glass, impossible to break or peek through. I stand up and circle the perimeter, but there don't appear to be any points of entry aside from the front door. If anything, it seems like it was built to house prisoners, not residents. This definitely isn't your average manor. What on earth could be awaiting within? I slow down and catch my breath. My hand is damp with sweat as I turn the knob of the manor's only entrance. A loud clank rings out as it swings open with ease. The interior seems normal enough. I ask meekly as I take a step inside. As soon as I let go of the knob, the door closes on its own. No, not one moment later. A sharp pain suddenly erupts in my head, causing me to stagger involuntarily. A shadow at my feet expands rapidly. My spine tingles as I feel something rush quickly towards me. Without even a moment of hesitation, I kick out and leap to the side. However, something slams hard against the back of my skull. The impact sends me flying. My vision swims, my mind already fading. I find myself unable to stand. Then the world fades to white. Oh, wasn't I supposed to wait outside? Why did I go inside?
おいおい、こいつ全然起きねえぞ。一発蹴りでもかますか？ヤマトさん、乱暴はやめようよ。
I hear voices nearby.
飛脚パイセンに賛成。暴力とかマジないっしょ。水ぶっかけるくらいでよくね？
渋谷さんも大概過激だな。ここは冷静にね。
もしや心肺が止まっているのではないか。我が速やかに心臓マッサージを。
その必要はありません。どうやら目を覚ましたようですよ。
I open my eyes, but my vision is blurred. The dizzying pain in my head is unbearable. There's a constant ringing in my ears, and my body won't move an inch. A wave of nausea comes over me, but I manage to stop myself from groaning. I vaguely recall being hit by something the moment I stepped into the manor. At last, my vision finally clears up. When my eyes refocus, I've met with several unfamiliar faces and a sturdy rope binding me. I'm tied up, surrounded by a group of strangers. What in the world is going on?
おい、てめえ侵入者こら！
A girl in a sports jacket grabs me by the throat, glowering menacingly. She looks to be in her early teens, but her strength is incredible. I can't get a peep out while trapped in her iron grip.
本部で待ち伏せたいい度胸してんじゃねえか。どこの組織の回し者だてめえ。ああ？
大和探偵さん、落ち着いて。
落ち着いてられるかよ。こいつは俺たちの仲間をぶち殺した犯人かもしれねえんだぞ。なのに黙りこくりやがってよ。許せねえぜ。
だけど首を締め上げたままでは何も話せませんよ。
え？おお、科学探偵の言う通りだな。悪かったよ、侵入者。本当にすまねえ。
The girl in the sports jacket lets me go, then immediately falls to her knees, touching her head on the floor as she apologizes.
顔を上げてください。気にしてませんから。よくわかりませんけど、僕は怪しまれるのに十分な理由があったんですよね。
その通りだが、このままじゃ筋が通らねえ。けじめだ。手痛いのを一発俺に見舞ってくれ。
そんなことしませんよ。というか縛られてるのでできません。顔を上げてください。実は僕も状況が全然わからなくて混乱してるんです。皆さんは何なんですか？それにこの島は一体何が起こってるんですか？
As I ask the so-called rowdy detective my questions, the boy in the wheelchair approaches us.
自らの意思でこの島を訪れたわけではないのですね。それに詳しいことは何もわからないと。
ええ、老子探偵という人に連れてこられたらしいんですが、詳しいことは何も。
老子探偵があなたを
A boy called Techie Detective cups his chin in thought.
先ほど眼球運動を確認した限り気絶していたのは間違いない。自作自演で気絶していた可能性もあるけど、一度事実として考えた方が良さそうだ。でもあの老子探偵が何の目的も告げずにこの本部まで。
Alright, why don't we stop it there for now? This is audap. You've been watching Process of Elimination running on Nintendo Switch. So there is a demo that's available for you if you want to check it out for yourself, for free. But normally the game will cost, $39.99 USD or whatever is the equivalent currency where you're at. This one version is running on the Nintendo Switch, but it's also available, I believe it's available on PlayStation 4 and PC. This has a very Danganronpa sort of feel to it so far. Hopefully it's not as completely ridiculous as that, but not really sure. I don't really like the art style that much, or at least the character art style. I think the backgrounds and stuff look just fine. But maybe the stuff will grow on me as time goes on. I'm not really sure. But either way, I think the premise is really nice. The voice acting is top-notch stuff here. So definitely check it out if you're into a mystery visual novel. We'll play it as time goes on, and hopefully whatever problem I have with the fuller version is going to resolve itself before tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.